So I wanted to thank Aliza and Noam for this opportunity to share some of our thoughts with them on this wonderfully joyous occasion of the Bris of Akiva, Netanel, and Baby B, as he's affectionately known in the family. Aliza asked me earlier this week about talking, and initially I thought I would pass. I know that my Mechutan, Rabbi Shapiro, was going to talk. Of course, Aliza and Noam were going to give a Dvar Torah, and I figured that was enough. And also, many of you realize that it's been a bit hectic at home, and I thought we'd drop it. So, but give me a second. But Michelle's surgery is passed, and Baruch Hashem, she's doing well, but unfortunately couldn't make the trip. However, don't you cry. And your father-in-law is not far behind. So, I'm okay. I'm good. However, when I sat down and looked at this past week's Parsha, and I saw it was Kitisa, I knew I wanted to say a few words. Aliza, do you know why? Did Mommy tell you? Oh, God. Whole 9 yards. Okay. So, many of you may be, so I wanted to say a few words to her. And many of you may be asking, well, does he simply say that about every Parsha? The answer is maybe I do, but this one has specific meaning to us because it's Aliza's Bat Mitzvah Parsha. She apparently remembers that because her mother reminded her last night. But Aliza wasn't a surprise for us. This is not true confessions, in that Michelle gave birth a few weeks early, Erev Pesach. And when it came time for her bat mitzvah, we also made it a few weeks early in Parshas Kitese. So I wanted to say a few words representing both Michelle and myself. Did she read the entire? Oh, okay, good. What Aliza may remember about her bat mitzvah is that I'm in love and enamored with Parshat Kitisa. I'm probably enamored with Parshat Kitisa as well. And although I could not find her Dvar Torah on the computer, and we may not have had one, I remember it actually very well. And Ora actually challenged me and said, well, do you remember hers or are you remembering mine and think it's what you said at her bat? Then the answer is no, I remember Aliza's as well. I'm not going to go through her entire Dvar Torah, but I wanted to, one of the things that she found, maybe through my guidance, interesting, was Moshe's interactions with Hashem in this past week's Parsha. She spoke about that at her Bat Mitzvah, and I want to take off on that theme, and I guess Rabbi Hecht and Ruchi are actually representative, well, not likely to remember. After the Chet HaEgel, Hashem's threat, but we're there. Hashem's threat to destroy, after the Chet HaEgel and Hashem's threats to destroy Bnei Yisrael, we see a very interesting interaction between Moshe and Hashem. And I'll summarize it. It starts, Perek 33, Pasuk Yud Zayin, Vayomer Hashem al Moshe. Well, I'm sorry, it actually starts before that, at the beginning of Shlishi. Moshe says to Hashem that I need to understand your ways, and I need to understand your ways, and so that I can understand how to deal and how to treat Bnei Yisrael. And Hashem responds, Vayomer Hashem HaMoshe, Gam et hadavar hazeh asher dibarta eseh ki matzati chen b'einecha ve'edcha b'shem. So this too I shall help you. I shall do for you, and then he goes on and tells them that I can't reveal the future for you, I can't reveal what will happen, but I'll allow you to understand through history, I'll allow you to understand through history my presence. And he tells them to take up 2 tablets, tells them to sit with him, and he's going to reveal through the past his means of interaction with the world. Okay, and it goes on, and it comes to, I want to skip now to the end, Lamed Daled, Pasuk 8 and 9. We see there's a revelation that occurs. Vayered Hashem Banan, and God comes down in a cloud, and he stands with Hashem, and we say this pasuk many times in the Yom Noam, V'yivar Hashem al panav v'yikra Hashem Hashem. I'm not going to go through that. And then, Vayimaher, this is the last two psukim I wanted to focus on. Vayimaher Moshe, Vayikod Artzav Yishtachavu. And Moses hurried and he bowed down. Vayomer Im na matzati chen beinecha, if I will find favor in your eyes. Im na matzati chen beinecha Adonai yelech Adonai b'kirbeinu ki am she'orafu v'salata l'vonenu u'chatenu u'nechaltanu. And he says, come amongst us, because, and this is the area that I wanted to focus on, ki am she'orafu, because this is a nation, stubborn nation, v'salata, and then you should forgive them. So the question and the focus is on the word ki and the use of that term. So what was very interesting is the term that Moshe uses, this term that Moshe uses to Hashem, ki am she'orafu. That's the precise reason that Hashem said to Moshe as to why he wants to destroy them. So I'm not going to go through it, but in leading up to this, Hashem says to Moshe several times, ki am she'orafu, because they are a nation they're a stubborn nation. Why would Moshe use that specific terminology, which Hashem, so to speak, found to be a very disturbing and perturbing characteristic of Bnei Yisrael? So various Meforshim comment on it. Rashi does explain the key, because as Elisa knows, I also would look at Jonathan Sachs and see what he had to say about that. And what I found very interesting is this idea that the idea that Jonathan Sachs says is Am She'orafu, which was considered by Hashem to be the serious flaw Moshe was saying can turn into, in the future, can be part of Bnei Yisrael's strength. That their persistence in maintaining Judaism throughout the ages, through persecutions, trials, and tribulations, is in fact part of Am She'orafu, and that he was turning that liability, what once was a liability, into strength. One of the places, of course, where we see that is the story of Esther, that Elisa is named after. And in that case, where in the time of Hester Hanim, how that persistence, how Mordechai in his lack of, in his persistence that he will not bow down, that becomes a strength, and how Esther in her role also strong and leads the people through that. So how does this relate? Well, everyone knows that this was not an easy pregnancy, or labor or delivery. It's certainly been a long haul for the whole family. What was the first time I heard about the twins? Aliza calls and said, Abba, are you sitting down? we knew already she was pregnant, but the fact that I needed to be sitting down, I knew something was about to happen that I was unaware of. So, and that was the start of it. There's been many. There's the nausea, vomiting, the 9 weeks of bed rest. I feel for Noam as well. This whole time. The 9 weeks of bed rest, the dealing with my daughter for this whole time long, the 24 hours of labor, the stat C-section with D cells from baby B, as still affectionately known in our household. And of course the NICU stay and genetic consults and whoever else can come by. And for Michelle and I living far away, it's been difficult, but gotten tremendous chizuk from seeing the community support. From seeing the community support, but also more importantly from Aliza and Noam and their strength in taking the long view, almost the she'orafu view, that we got to get through this, we'll get through this well, and we'll have a wonderful family. Baruch Hashem, they've gotten this far in tremendous joy and celebration at the occasion of A and B's, the A and B's brisim. And while I know that from here on it's not necessarily going to be an easy road, Mom and I wish Noam and Eliza the zechut to, along with those two beautiful Am She'orafu older sisters, Ayela and Devorah, to raise strapping Am She'orafu boys. Mazel tov.